In this episode 43 of the Daily Hustle Show, it is part 4 and the final part of the series for crafting your pitch to sell more stuff and raise money for your company. This is a big one. We're talking about the intrigue story. You definitely want to watch this one. And also, we pay homage to perhaps the greatest hair in NBA history.
Broadcasting from the box that rocks and Thrive15.com world headquarters, it's the Daily Hustle with Daniel McKenna.
What is going on, guys? Welcome into episode 43 of the Daily Hustle Show. As usual, to my left, there is Marshall F. Morris. He is joined by a large pencil behind him, like human-sized large pencil behind him, is on the show today. If you're watching this podcast, people, I just wanted to make sure that you knew the visual here. There's a giant pencil here in the room. And also, I'm Daniel McKenna. This is episode 43 of the Daily Hustle, and part 4, the fourth and final part here, Marshall, of crafting the perfect pitch to raise more money and sell more stuff. Of course, if you've been listening to the previous episodes, we are talking about the book Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. And we've had some dynamite-type stuff today in previous episodes. Today's one specifically, to me, is like a super move.
It's a super move.
It's a super move. I saved the best for last here.
That's right.
And we're talking about the intrigue story, a further way to keep your audience's attention and to bust the analyst frame. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're going to want to watch the other episodes.
Did you just like hook into the other episodes?
I just backward hooked.
Oh, back hook.
That's not a normal technique. People usually like tease for the front hook. I'm back hooking.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. This episode 43, is the Jack Sikma episode, Marshall. Mm-hmm. Jack Sikma. Won a championship with the Seattle Supersonics. If you don't know who Jack Sikma is, in 1979. 7-time All-Star. 30th all-time in NBA history. Career total rebounds. He's a hustler. But the real reason that he is being mentioned today is his Hall of Fame hair. Can you go ahead and Google Jack Sikma for me over there. Jack Sikma hair.
I'm looking. For some reason I can't find the Seattle Supersonics.
In Google?
Yeah.
It's past relics that the ancients have foretold about.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not a modern thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I'm a 14-year-old listening to the Daily Hustle, and I can't find the Supersonics.
That's
I have
right.
no idea what
you're
you're
like,
talking
who are
about.
the Seattle Supersonics? They don't exist. Yeah. However, go ahead and Google Jack Sikma hair for me.
Jack Sikma hair.
Jack Sikma hair. That's Sikma. Hall of Fame hair. When you get there, you're going to notice he looks like a real life Cabbage Patch doll.
He does.
He looks like a real life Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah, he does.
Look at that hair.
The fact that there's a mouse underneath all of my show notes is amazing.
Not an actual mouse for the viewers at home. The type of mouse that you hook up to a computer.
They were worried. Yeah, that's amazing hair.
Isn't that amazing hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, it is the Jack Sikma hair episode 43 here.
You know who else has incredible hair?
Who?
Sam, our producer.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he has a brilliant beard.
He's got a good beard.
Yeah. I've not seen a beard so loquacious as him.
Loquacious.
Yeah.
We're going to wait till the end of the episode to tell you what loquacious means, because I don't know.
Okay.
That's a tease.
Yeah.
Talking about tease, let's get into the intrigue story. Let's dive right in here, Marshall. We're talking about controlling the frame as a context reminder. When you are reacting to the other person, to your target, that person owns the context. That person owns the frame. When the other person is reacting to what you do and say, you own the frame. Okay, that's kind of the context in case you haven't heard the previous episodes. But we're talking about the intrigue story, busting the analyst frame, and avoiding losing attention and interest during your pitch. So, Marshall, the analyst frame here. I'm going to give you the bullet points here, and I want to get your context on the analyst frame. Okay? Analyst frame. Number 1, it focuses on hard facts only. So think about it. You're talking to like a group of people. You know that people buy emotionally. You need to get them connected to your narrative. But the analyst frame focuses on hard facts only. Says that the aesthetic and creative features have no value. It requires that everything must be supported by a number or statistic. And it holds the ideas that ideas and human relationships have no value. They're very robotic. Give me your take on the analyst frame here before we get into trying to bust the analyst frame.
Well, this is the frame that I typically, my bias is that I default
You
to.
live inside the analyst frame.
I live inside the analyst frame.
Yeah.
But that is something very real that a lot of business owners and salespeople they'll face regularly is people that want to purchase solely based on a number.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is you have to learn how to navigate this analyst frame if you want to sell more stuff.
That's right.
So,
In theory, if you're selling something, there's a cost for it, right?
mm-hmm.
And so the analyst is trying to prove why that cost doesn't match up with what they're trying to do, right? The analyst is trying to find holes in your argument because you're saying I've got this great thing, and the analyst is saying, well, I'm going to look at these specific numbers to ruin your argument, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is from the book Pitch Anything. Says that most intelligent people take great pleasure in being confronted with something new, novel, and intriguing. When the target agreed to meeting with you, what he or she was really saying was, this is a puzzle I am interested in solving. Marshall, you're an analyst frame person. Is this any of this ringing true? If you were going to meet with somebody, maybe it's a new musician that you're working with, and they've got something that they want to do. Your homie that said, I want you to come out here and record me at one of my live shows. I want you to do this thing. Did some of that spark a little bit of like, I'm going to have to figure this out a little bit? Is there some of that in you, or what are you thinking?
I would say a little bit.
A little bit?
I would say more of the business deals that we negotiate is trying to how do we solve a problem is more of the analyst frame or the kind of that perks me up.
Okay. So let's say you are pitching. Let's say you're pitching to somebody, right? So if you're pitching to somebody, they have something that you want, right? You're not trying to necessarily. They're not already approaching you trying to get your business. It's the other way around. You're approaching them trying to get their business. But how do we do that in a way that you win the conversation? Let's say you have their attention in the beginning. This goes really well for public speakers. I would say this probably goes really well for first dates. Just human relationships. Right? You have their attention in the beginning. You kind of have some wonder, some let's see how this goes. But as you go along in the pitch, those who have figured out the pitch, meaning that the idea is similar to something they already know or a problem they have already solved, or maybe it's not something new or something that interests them, they begin to check out. An extreme and nearly total loss of alertness. Obviously the opposite of what you want here. Have you ever seen this before, Marshall? Have you ever seen the guy gets up on stage and 5 minutes, 10 minutes into his thing, everyone's like, ugh, and they're peeling off the phones, kind of talking underneath their breath to each other, and they're completely have no idea what's going on in the speech anymore.
That's right.
You've seen this before?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say this happens more often than the other way around.
That's right.
I would say this happens more often than they keep your attention.
Mm-hmm. And the best people, the best comedians, the best speakers, they do this all the time, and they've mastered this intrigue frame because they just do it, time, section after section, bit after bit. They keep your attention the entire time.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And they do it in a formulaic, on purpose way.
That's right.
It doesn't just accidentally they were so good, they kept my attention this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it usually works.
Mm-hmm.
So you have their attention in the beginning. As the pitch continues, presenters lose more and more of the audience, those who solve the puzzle, meaning they've figured out that they're no longer interested. They start to drop out. Another quote here from the book: the brain is a cognitive miser. Unless it can get value for itself, it stops paying attention. So your brain is saying, nah, I'm not interested, I'm out. What else is what's going on Twitter? Let me pull up Facebook real quick.
Right.
Let me text my friends. Let me see what my wife is up to. Right?
Bang.
Because that's more interesting. Okay, so the most effective way to overcome the analyst frame is with the intrigue frame. Remember, we talked about in those previous episodes that warm processes in the brain, narrative processes in the brain, and cold processes in the brain, like analytical processes, they can't happen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no narrative and analytical information happening at the same time, right? And you want to get your client, your target, in that narrative side of the brain.
Thinking about the story.
It's thinking about the story, developing the relationship. So here's the move. When your target drills down into technical material, you break that frame by telling a brief but relevant story that involves you. We're talking about the intrigue story here, Marshall. The intrigue story. This is not a story you make up on the spot. This is a personal story that you've prepared in advance and that you take to every meeting you have. So this is like your ace. This is like your ace up your sleeve. Mm-hmm. You've got your story, and you've got it in a way that's relevant to your target audience, to the people you're talking to. And you know, okay, if I notice that people are starting to lose me, if people are starting to check out, I've got this story to go to. I'm ready for it. So in your pitch, it's not even put together in a way that says, okay, A, B, C, and then it's D, and then it's E, and then it's F. It's just A, B, C. Oh, wait, they're not there. I'm losing them. Here comes the story. Throw it back in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's talk about this. As you share your story, there has to be some suspense to it because you're going to create intrigue in the telling of the story by telling only part of the story here, Marshall. Only part of the story. So here's the bullet points. Here's the number of things that you must have in your intrigue story, and then I'm going to have you read the actual intrigue story from the book.
I love that so much.
Okay, so here's the six things you must have in your intrigue story. 1, it must be brief, and the subject must be relevant to your pitch. 2, you need to be at the center of the story, right? You're redirecting the attention towards you. It needs to be a story about you. You're involved in. 3, there should be risk, danger, and uncertainty. You're creating some suspense there. 4, there should be time pressure. A clock is ticking somewhere. There are ominous consequences of actions not taken quickly. 5, there should be tension. You're trying to do something that something else is not letting you do. There's a force, there's somebody, or there's something, technology, or there's something that's not letting you do what you're trying to do. And 6, there should be serious consequences. So you're creating this suspense. These are the things that must be part of your intrigue story, your ace in the hole, your thing that you're ready to go to if you notice your crowd starts losing attention. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Marshall, in this scenario, he has a story of something that actually happened to him, and it's a real story, but he's going to frame it for a way that makes sense for his target audience. So go ahead and read me. This is from page 57 of Pitch Anything. Read me his intrigue story.
Okay. So Oren Claff, he says, knowing that my audience was made up of aviators, engineers, and guys interested in jets, I came to the meeting with this story prepared and ready to deploy if needed. As it happened, I did encounter an attack from an opposing analyst frame, and this story easily brought the meeting back under my control. As the audience's attention began to shift to analytical questions, this is what I said. This reminds me of the Porterville incident. First and foremost, he titles it the Porterville incident.
And you say, this reminds me of, like, he already had his segue ready to go.
Yep.
He noticed he started losing just a little bit of attention in the room. And you know what? This reminds me of the Porterville incident. Mm-hmm. Go on.
He goes, a while ago, my partner and I flew to Porterville to look at 2 deals. You guys know they have a tiny airfield. It's visual flight rules only and has no control tower.
So real quick, before you keep going, he said, you guys know.
You guys know.
Talking to his target audience, he was like, hey, we're speaking the same language here. You guys know. Mm-hmm. You got the visual flight only rules. Mm-hmm. They don't have the watchtower. Mm-hmm. They don't have the, like, he's talking in terms that they understand, and he's saying, hey, we're on the same page. I know what you know. We're brethren here.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Mostly they get single engine traffic, Cessna Skycatchers and Beechcraft Bonanzas, and maybe a few small jets. Dan, do you own a Beechcraft Bonanza?
I have had a Beechcraft Bonanza, but I don't think that's the same thing.
Did you get that from Baskin Robbins?
Yes, I did get that from Baskin Robbins. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe a few small jets. So when we got there, our big Legacy 600 skidded to a stop at the far edge of the runway, but the landing was nothing compared with the takeoff.
Ooh.
Since Porterville airspace is under San Francisco air traffic control, 260 miles away, the trick to getting out of there is to climb fast and merge quickly into the traffic pattern. We expected an aggressive takeoff. It was no big deal when we found ourselves accelerating hard into a steep climb. The Legacy 600 is a muscle car of a jet. When it's under full power, you feel it. So we're heavy and deep in this full power ascent, and we're having casual business conversation. And I would estimate that our altitude was 9,000 feet when abruptly the jet surges and then nosedives. We dropped 1,000 feet in a few seconds. My seat is facing forward toward the cockpit. The door is open. I can see the pilots. We're all clinging to our seats and cursing. A klaxon is howling, and one of the pilots is saying, "It's the TCAS. It's the TCAS." But I didn't even know at the time what a traffic collision avoidance system was. Traffic collision avoidance system. I'm trying to figure this all out, and I'm thinking, this is it. I'm done. Soy un perdedor. As we're plummeting in this nosedive, I look through the door in the cockpit, and I see both pilots with their hands on the throttle. Then the plane rolls into a steep climb, and I see the pilots fighting, literally slapping each other's hands off the throttle. The climb is short, just 5 seconds, and then the plane goes into a nosedive again. Anyway, and I go right back into my pitch.
Whoa. So he's got this story. He lays out the context. He says, hey, we're brethren here. Well, I know some stuff about planes. I know you guys are into planes. I know some stuff about planes. Here's the scenario. We have to take off like a spaceship rocket just to get out of there. It's all cool and casual. We're talking business. Then all of a sudden the plane starts nosediving. We're freaking out. We're obviously about to die. The pilots are fighting each other. They're slapping each other's hands off the controls. But anyway, back to my pitch. So at this point, because he started off the story talking about similar things that he knows his target audience is interested in, he knew he was getting their attention there, right? He was kind of calming down the pitch. This reminds me of the Porterville incident, actually. Here's a bunch of stuff that I know you're interested in. You're interested in this and this and this. We're on the same page. We're brethren here. Here's the scenario. Laid out this specific scenario. This crazy thing happened. This absolutely crazy thing happened. You wouldn't believe it. It's insane. So back to the slideshow here. At this point, everybody in the audience is going to be like, what happened? What happened? Right? They're like intently, like you just grabbed their focus and threw it back wherever you wanted it to, whatever you want it to be. And they're completely dialed in because they want to know what happens. Do you think this would be an effective intrigue story here, Marshall?
Yeah. I mean, he's the best in the business at this. But the action item, the practical application of this is everybody needs their own personal intrigue story.
That's right.
So you got to go out there and craft your own story for whether it be sales or pitching or raising capital or whatever it is. You need that intrigue story. And then if you're, for whatever reason, telling a story at the family dinner table, attention begins to drift. Sunday night. I would practice your intrigue story. This
reminds me of the Porterville incident.
Yeah. There you go.
This is a super highly effective move. Mm-hmm. So in this move, the opposing analyst frame gets crushed by emotional, engaging, and relevant narratives like this. Attention redirects back to the presenter, allowing him to finish his pitch on his agenda, his timeline, and his topics. I just came in and stole your attention. I put it back on me. And after you finish the pitch, then you complete the narrative arc. You finish the story. How does this relate to this whole thing? Mm-hmm. This is a super move here.
Super move.
So if you're at home and you need to pitch something, have your intrigue story ready to go. Have it something that's relevant to your audience. Something that if you notice you're starting to lose a little bit of heat in the room's getting just a little bit cold, a little bit analytical, a little bit not really paying attention, dive into this intrigue story, steal back their attention, bring it back to your pitch, close strong, and then finish with and that's why the Porterville incident happened, because it all, yeah, and I mean, this would be very entertaining to do at your next family dinner.
Yeah. Next family get together.
Just to work on it.
Just practice it.
Just work on the foundational aspects of it.
Yeah.
But this would sincerely work in like every context. Mm-hmm. You're out networking. You don't have anything like interesting to say. You don't have, they can be like, hey, they're talking. They're like, oh, you know what? That reminds me of Marshall Morris. Let me tell you why. And dive into this like super intriguing story. And now everybody you're networking with is like dialed in. Just dialed in. And then you get to say whatever you're there to say.
Yeah. Once you have their attention, then you can go back into your pitch.
That's right.
What do you do at the end?
What do you do at the end?
Yeah, you have their attention. You've redirected it to the pitch.
And then you get back into the pitch the way you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like the shot in the arm you can put anywhere in your pitch to get people's attention back on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you finish the pitch the way you're supposed to. You might, I mean, if it's like an hour-long pitch, you might need 2 or 3 of these stories.
Yeah. And so you get to the end of the pitch.
Yep.
Audience is like, oh, I'm glad he had my attention. I wanted to deep dive into the numbers. I like that story. I like that narrative. That feels good. He's pitched me. And now, as somebody who's pitching, you bring it full circle. You give him what happened.
You give him the end of the story. You give him the trophy.
You complete the narrative arc, and it's almost like a perfect close for whatever it is that you're talking about.
That's right.
Like, it lands the plane.
It's like the end of a movie where it all comes together, and you're like, that's what that was all about.
And you tie in some kind of metaphor with, oh, the plane was expecting turbulence, and then it was doing this, and then, you know, that's kind of like business.
And that's kind of like business. It's not always sunny skies.
It's not always sunny skies. But no, it really it adds a nice close. It adds closure to the pitch, and people feel good, and it feels. You know those movies that just like end
without resolving what's going on.
That, yeah, and you're like,
and everyone just leaves upset.
Dang it!
It's like, come on.
Because that's not how you want to end your pitches.
No.
So that's why that's what I would say is it adds nice closure to your pitch. It kind of wraps it up in a nice little bow.
Absolutely.
Bang.
So that's the intrigue story. That's going to be a highly effective weapon for you the next time you pitch something, the next time you want to have a conversation and you want to have some meaningful connection with whoever you're talking to. This is a really big thing for you.
It's hot.
It's big. That's it for this series here, Marshall. Crafting the perfect pitch to raise more money and sell more stuff. There's plenty more good stuff in this book, this Pitch Anything book. Go ahead and show the camera one time if you're watching this one, what the Pitch Anything book looks like, just in case you haven't seen it yet. Pitch Anything. It's a great book. More stuff in the book including the pattern of how to introduce your idea, how to offer the deal, how to even introduce yourself, like specific, like this is how I did it. This is how I raised $400 million with these techniques. Pretty sweet.
I like it.
Pretty sweet. I know we didn't talk about this before the show. Do you have any daily wins? Do you have any daily wins over there on your side?
I'm trying to think of the last one that we haven't mentioned.
We have mentioned a lot of them. I mean, we're on episode 43.
Right.
The Jack Sigma hair episode.
Just so many wins. Let's go with got it. I got to win.
Is it the Jack Sigma's hair? Is that the win?
That's not the win.
I thought that was the win you're going to go with.
No.
Okay, well, now that you have the win.
I have it. I had to think about it.
I need you to announce the daily wins of the week. Like you are Jack Sigma, and you're getting your hair ready before you go out to play against the Chicago Bulls.
Going out to play the Chicago Bulls.
Yep. But your hair's a mess, and you obviously have to be looking good. You have to be looking good out there on the court, you know.
How would Jack Sigma talk?
I have no idea.
He's kind of like he's like a big dude.
He's a big guy. 30th all-time career rebounds.
30th. I think you're 31st.
Well, I'm pretty far up there.
Okay. So Jack Sigma. Okay.
Yep.
He's getting ready.
Getting ready.
All right, guys. We got to go out and we're taking on the Bulls tonight. I don't know why Jack Sigma is from New York.
Is he talking to other people, or is he talking to his hair in this scenario?
No, he's talking to the mirror.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And he said guys, you know, as if his hairs.
Okay. That's what I was clarifying.
Okay. Guys, we're taking on the Bulls tonight. Now, I'm going to need you to represent and play a good game. Stay out of my way. If you are in my way, I'm gonna just shave. There's a picture actually of him without his hair. He buzzed it. I need you guys. So what I'm gonna need is I need this product over here. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of this Johnny B street cream. Shout out elephant in the room. This Johnny B street cream. I need some of this. I'm getting ready. My hair's looking good. Okay. And now I got to rebound. I'm gonna box out that guy. Dennis, the Dennis guy, the Dennis Rodman guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to box him out. I'm gonna get more rebounds than that guy. And with my hair, now we got the daily wins of the week.
That was good. I like that you included a motivational pitch to your hair about rebounding.
Yes.
I like that. You got to have the whole body involved. It's a mindset. It's a way of life.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Sigma.
Go ahead and give us the daily wins.
Daily wins of the week. This comes from Greg Wild of Wild's Cabinetry.
Wow.
Okay. This homie is on our site, and he is watching a ton of videos.
Really?
Okay. And a while back, he had started it, and he was like, I need a business mentor. I need to get going. I'm not ready for business coaching, but I do need this type of training. So he got online. He created an account with Thrive15.com, and he's just been primarily watching the videos. Okay. He's been watching the videos, and I think he just booked a ticket to come out to one of our conferences,
nice,
which is awesome. And so Greg, he just shared a ton of wins. He goes, I was literally months from closing down my business because I either had to do better or worse, but like I was running out of time that I had set up, saying that, okay, I'm going to make a go at this, and if it doesn't turn out, I'll just go get a regular job.
Running out of runway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Greg, he sent this email the other day. He goes, I literally have turned my business around, and it's been total credit to the video trainings online. Thank you guys so much. It's like having a personal business mentor, but your mentor is Lee Cockrell, the guy that managed Walt Disney World Resort, or David Robinson, the guy that played for the San Antonio Spurs. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he's been watching those videos, working through our different paths and our different trainings. And so big shout out to Greg Wild, who's having massive success on our online video training platform.
That's awesome. I didn't even hear about that one. That's really cool.
There's so many that we're having that you're not hearing about.
I didn't hear about that one. We if you don't know who we are or what we do, we're from Thrive15.com, and there are 3 separate ways that we do things to help control and build your business in a scalable way, and the results speak for themselves. I mean, this is one of hundreds of people that literally watch our videos, they come to our conferences, they are one-on-one coaching clients, and their businesses are changing. Their businesses are growing in massive ways. And for Greg Wild and the other Greg Wilds that are on the site, so pumped for you, so excited to be on your team for this.
We have like 5 people named Greg Wild on our site.
Well, this Greg Wild's Cabinetry, to be specific.
Oh, okay.
Is it Greg Wild's Cabinetry?
Yes. We'll maybe like in the show notes underneath. We'll
put that in the show notes. Also, show notes. I need to know what loquacious means.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It just sounded good.
It sounded very good.
Tending to talk a great deal, very talkative.
Tending to talk a great deal, loquacious.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how you used it.
I don't either, but it felt right.
We have been very loquacious since you've said loquacious.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big shout out to Sam, the producer. He just looks fantastic today.
He's got some glasses on.
He's wearing some glasses.
That's new.
Yeah. He's if you were to get on like Wikipedia,
yeah,
and you were gonna look up the word man,
yeah,
his picture would be right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. Mostly, the fact that he's logged in with his Google account right here has nothing to do with that, but just like his picture is very close to the word man.
Okay.
So, Sam.
Well, since we just had an incredibly strong close to this episode, I will go ahead and pitch us out of here. Over there, Marshall F. Morris. Over here, Daniel McKenna. Again, go find out more about what we do at Thrive15.com. That has been it for the Daily Hustle, episode 43. We will see you again next time. Boom!
Loquacious.